My mom was a teen parent, so by the time I was getting married and having kids, she was ready for a do-over. I have two sisters, a toddler and a kindergartner, who are close in age to my kids, a grammar schooler and two toddlers. I wish I could say we were all a happy extended family, but this causes a lot of tension. My mom and her husband parent a lot differently than my wife and I, making things awkward when the kids are together. My wife also feels judged. The cherry on top, the two 3-year-olds absolutely despise each other. Needless to say, I don't get to see my mom much, but recently, she invited us over to use their pool and have dinner. I was anxious because eating together is usually a bad idea. My mom said she would make something simple, as she knows my kids are picky. Now, I'd just like to say that they aren't the worst eaters. The older toddler is a typical toddler, and my oldest prefers things on the bland side, but they're healthy kids, and their doctor isn't worried. We got there and swam. I thought it was going well, but then my mother brought out dinner, grilled chicken and salad. I felt so defeated. My kids do eat veggies for the most part, but none of them are going to eat feta cheese, olives, or banana peppers. And honestly, I feel like most kids wouldn't. It felt like an annoying flex. I saw my wife looking like she was going to cry, and I lost it. I screamed at my mom that, once again, she was taking a dig versus being an actual grandparent. She might think she's the world's greatest mom, but I feel bad for my kids because she sucks as a grandparent. My mom acted dumbfounded, and we took the kids home. She texted me later that she had no idea why I was mad at her. I should have known that it was a simple meal for them, but then she messed up and admitted she was going to do chicken nuggets, but the only one she had contained coconut, and my son is allergic to coconut. So to me, she admitted she knew that wasn't a simple meal. Am I the idiot for blowing up on my mom for serving my kids a salad? Oh, the salad and chicken are not the problem here. Bro, you have issues. You are the idiot, but that's the least of your problems. You have some unresolved issues with your mom, some anger issues, and I suspect that if we dug deeper, not the greatest parenting style. But salad, can you imagine? Think of the children. And then she messed up and admitted she was going to do chicken nuggets, but the only one she had contained coconut, and my son is allergic. What the heck? I'm still struggling to understand how saving your kid from an allergic reaction by not serving something he was allergic to is messing up. She was responsible and didn't just put the chicken nuggets without hesitation in the oven and served it. Nope, she served a completely healthy meal. Seems like you don't have much respect for her. Never did. Yes, the tone is there. And to say the toddlers absolutely despise each other? Wow. How does a toddler hate another toddler? Toddlers don't hate. They haven't been alive long enough to truly despise anyone or anything. So extreme. Personally, I think grilled chicken is simple. A salad isn't simple. I mean, I get what OP means about the feta, banana peppers, and olives, etc., but just scoop tomatoes and cucumbers, etc., out with the tongs. OP acts like your mom made curry or something extreme. From now on, OP should just pick up a pizza when going there to avoid issues. But this, to me, doesn't sound like someone not wanting to create trouble. It sounds like someone who is trouble. Seriously, if you're that worried about a meal, either don't go or just bring something you know the kids will eat without a fuss. This seems like a really strange situation to blow up over. The wife cried because she knew it was going to trigger her husband's rage. If she feels it, then you know the kids do as well. The OP needs some counseling with and without his mom. Mama's ready for a do-over is the unresolved resentment toward his mom. For context, I am female 23, am 3 months pregnant, and last week I was able to find out the gender of my baby for a reveal. My husband, male 29, and I have been together for 3 years and married for 1. My husband's youngest brother, my brother-in-law, male 24, has epilepsy, which is what put him in the hospital. My brother has 2 other brothers, but only he's relevant here. Here's what happened. I was at the ultrasound alone last week when she said she could tell me the gender. I asked her to write it down for me and not tell me anything, and she was very kind to do so. I had previously talked with my husband, and we decided we wanted to find out together. We would do it at home since he couldn't be at the ultrasound. My mom took the envelope to a bakery, and we also got cupcakes made, filled with blue or pink. I was very excited to do this with my husband, and the cupcakes were getting picked up on Sunday. It was just going to be the two of us, and I was going to send a picture to my mom, my mother-in-law, my brothers-in-law, and the rest of the family. Well, Sunday afternoon, I went to pick up the cupcakes, and I left so excited. As soon as I walked back in the door, though, I saw my husband on the phone with his head in his hands, clearly stressed about something. I immediately asked him what happened, and he told me that his brother had a seizure while driving, and he's now in the ICU. It was his other brother on the phone telling him. Of course, I immediately put the cupcakes down and asked what he wanted to do. He said to go to the hospital to see him, so we went. We spent a few hours there and met with his other brothers, one of whom said he would stay with him. We ended up getting home around 8 p.m. My brother-in-law in the hospital is very injured, but he's going to be fine, and nothing unfixable happened. The nurse told us he was actually fortunate, but the whole problem was that he had not been taking the proper medications. So when we got home, my husband was still very upset and rattled. I asked him what he wanted, and he said nothing. So I just made us dinner and we sat for a while. He talked about how he was furious with his brother for not taking the right medications. I agreed, and we talked about how we were going to help him and how he was going to be okay. Around 10 p.m., I cautiously asked him if he still wanted to try a cupcake and find out the gender. At first, I could tell he had forgotten about it, but then I saw the immediate no forming. In response, I started trying to convince him, which I shouldn't have done. I asked him if he was sure and told him how bad I wanted to know. He asked me how I could care about something like that when his brother was in the ICU. I told him, of course I care about him, and it's a bad situation, but a cupcake and the gender would maybe make him feel better. He asked me why I give a heck anyway. After that, I was like, okay, maybe tomorrow, and went back to the kitchen to put the cupcakes in the fridge. My husband followed me and was angrily organizing things, which he does when he's stressed. I opened the tray of cupcakes to put them on a plate to fit into the fridge. This is when my husband thought I was going to do the reveal without him. He cursed and snatched the cupcake from my hand, crushed it over the sink, and when we saw the pink, he said, "There, a freaking girl. Are you happy?" I just stared at him, and he threw the cupcakes in the sink and stormed off. I was just so upset. I was so upset about my brother-in-law, about the reveal being ruined, about him snatching things and cursing at me. I just cleaned it up, took a bite out of another cupcake, and sent that picture to my mom, who acted like everything was fine. He went to bed without speaking to me. It's Wednesday and he's barely speaking to me, aside from one big apology Monday morning, which I wouldn't accept. He's just been acting like nothing is wrong. He says that it's my fault anyway for being so tone deaf about the whole situation. Was I? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Destroying something in anger, even when it's only a cupcake, is worrying behavior. You're not in charge of a grown man's feelings, and if he can't handle his wife asking a question twice, then baby, he is not ready to be around a toddler who asks for the same toy over and over. His response was way over the top, and frankly, I couldn't live around someone who I had to walk on eggshells around. And he didn't just destroy the cupcake, he destroyed her joy over finding out the gender of their baby. He doesn't just get to decide it shouldn't be important because he doesn't care. To most people, finding out the gender isn't about the gender itself. It's about the child becoming more real in a way. Finding out what bits it has means you'll also start wondering what the child will be like, what they'll look like, and what their future will be like. Exactly. He was an absolute jerk. And now OP's forever memory of his reaction to finding out he's going to have a daughter was, "There, a freaking girl. Are you happy?" And he still thinks he did nothing wrong? OP should have that printed on a t-shirt and wear it every day. He smashed a cupcake and said, "It's a freaking girl." I know this wouldn't be my husband anymore. He may have been stressed, but he absolutely destroyed a never again moment for his wife's first pregnancy and their first child. OP, he did it maliciously with the intent to hurt you. That's not okay. The brother is driving with epilepsy while not on his medication. What the heck? He's lucky he didn't kill someone. Some people are disgusting and don't give a thought about how their actions could hurt others around them. So reckless. Hubby's taking his anger about his brother out on his wife. Shame. She already gave up to support you. The brother's going to be okay. Be angry at your brother, not your wife. I'm so sorry you had the reveal ruined like that. Congratulations on the baby girl, though. That's wonderful. My 47 female son, nearly adult male, has a best friend, Alice, teen female, who hangs out here all the time. He never went over to her house, so I've never met her parents. She's at our house every day after school. Alice is a pretty sweet girl in my opinion. She's respectful and a good house guest, cleans up after herself, and has good conversation skills. Over the years, I've come to think of her as my own daughter. She sometimes talks about her kind of poor relationship with her mom and says they aren't very close. Upon investigating, my son mentioned that she's really afraid of her mother and doesn't like to go home. Yesterday, their school put up their yearly annual performance. It has 3 sections: acting, dancing, and singing. Students opt for which they want to be a part of. Alice picked singing because she doesn't like dancing and doesn't want to be seen by too many people, and she likes how she can be in a crowd while singing. My son and I think she has a nice voice. My husband and I were at the performance. We took videos of both our son and Alice in the performance. After the performance, I was looking for my son but couldn't find him. He said Alice was crying and they would be late. I asked him why, and he said she was upset that her mother hadn't come. Apparently, the mother said she didn't want to sit for 3 hours to watch her daughter sing, when dancing brings more attention and looks better. I didn't mention anything to Alice or my son, dropped Alice home, and when we got in, I sent an anonymous message telling Alice's mom how shameful it was that she wouldn't come to watch her daughter do something she was proud of, and I thought she didn't deserve to have a kid like that. I'm pregnant, so woke up feeling bad that it was hormones making me too protective of Alice. My husband, however, believes that it was rational. Alice's mom saw the message but didn't respond. Alice is at our house, so I know she's okay. I feel bad. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Listen, I think what you did came from a good place. However, if Alice is in a situation where her home life is bad, to the point that she doesn't like going home, and you don't know the extent of how bad it is, you could have created a deplorable situation for Alice to walk into, whether it's today, tomorrow, or a week from now. Your role should be to be a safe adult for Alice, and that means building trust and security. It does not mean sharing her feelings without her consent. It's also peculiar that your son and her have been friends for years, and you've not once met her parents, especially if Alice is staying overnight in your home. I can't tell you how many times I've caught a beating because someone I confided in spoke to my father. I'm sorry, been there. Told my school about the abuse and neglect my siblings and I dealt with at home. Then the school told my parents. Never trusted them with anything ever again. It's horrible. I'm not saying her mom doesn't deserve it, because she absolutely does. However, it's Alice who will suffer. She won't trust you again. If Alice was 18 and able to live with you, then it would have been fine. But Alice still has to go home and live there. You probably made her home life go from bad to worse. As soon as she gets home, she's going to get questioned as to what she's telling people. My wife had an affair and left me. No kids, thank goodness, but she did leave her dog behind. After she left, I packed up all of her stuff and told her to come and get it. She showed up with her new boyfriend and took everything except her dog. She said her boyfriend was allergic to dogs, so she couldn't take him. I told her to take him to her parents' house or to a friend's. She said she would make arrangements and come back. She didn't. After I tried contacting her too many times about the dog, and only about the dog, she blocked me. I took care of him until his food started running low. I wasn't going to spend any money on him, so I gave him to a friend of a friend. One of their dogs had recently died and they were familiar with his breed. We met at a dog park to see if their dog got along with my ex's dog. They got along great, and he went home with them. That was 2 months ago. My ex finally unblocked me and contacted me to say that she still hasn't found anyone to take her dog and to ask me to keep him for her. I was honest and told her the dog was long gone. She's angry and wants the contact information for the person I gave the dog to. I refused. She said she was going to sue me. I told her to go ahead. Our mutual friends are divided. Some think she's a witch for abandoning her dog. Some think I'm the idiot for giving away her property. I think she lost all rights to him when she blocked me. Not the idiot. Any friend who thinks she's right should be cut off immediately. They're morons. Not your dog. She thinks she can cheat and run off, and you'll pay for and look after her dog? You could have taken the poor little guy to a shelter. You did the right thing. Block her and tell her you'll see her in court then. Tell your friends not to tell her a thing. Once you abandon or discard property, Anyone else can do whatever they want with it. Once you abandon a living being, you lose your rights over them legally and morally. You went above and beyond by taking care of the dog and finding him a suitable new home where he's clearly happy and well cared for. Wow, it took her over 2 months to even unblock you from asking about the dog? She clearly didn't care about what happened to the dog. It's better off with a new family. I always told my kids that if they go to college, I'll take care of everything else. I've been telling them that since they were little kids. Now, I have 4 kids, 3 daughters and 1 son. The oldest 3, the daughters, decided college wasn't for them. I understood, but I told them they just can't sit in my house. I made them get jobs, and I charged them rent, $200 a month. They're all doing well, but still live in the house. My youngest is 18. That's the boy. He graduated 3 months ago, but just got accepted into a college. I didn't force him to get a job. As I said, if they go to school, I'll literally do everything else. He decided he wanted a job. He works at FedEx and makes about $300 a week. I don't charge him rent, and I'll try to take care of him until he's done with college. My daughters are more angry that he's not paying anything. They believe that having a job means he can pay something. They also believe that I shouldn't take care of everything for him if he has a job and he's not paying rent. I'm not charging him rent because he's going to school. His getting a job changes nothing in my mind. He simply saw this as a golden opportunity and is running with it. Am I the idiot for forcing my daughters to get jobs and charging rent while my son doesn't have to pay anything because he went to school? Not the idiot. My father told all 6 of us, if you go to university and stay, I'll pay and help you with expenses. If you drop out and want to go back, it's on your dime. I'm the youngest. My brother closest in age to me went to university, and we got our degrees because we watched the other 4 drop out. Your daughters are jealous. You were fair and offered all your children the same opportunity. Your daughters didn't take you up on the offer. Let them find rent with everything included and board for $200 a month if living in your house is such a burden. Besides, if the elder children are upset and consider their situation unfair, they're currently free to find other lodging. Also, I'm sorry for backseat parenting. Unless you're charging them token rent so they can save money for some goal, such as a nest egg before they, leave the nest, I'm not sure you're doing them any favors by charging a very below market rent for them to stay with you indefinitely. It may be time for you to push them out of the nest.